for habit 14. But first, let's have the usual recap. So on the advanced habits, we started with habit 12, which is taking 100% responsibility for everything in your life. Okay, very good mental place to be, and that's the key foundation for any sort of change and growth, and the key to health and happiness as we move forward. The habit 13, the second one of the advanced habits, is all about emotional freedom. That one is huge. We're going to build on that one tonight. Now, three key elements that we spent a lot of time on last night. First one being letting go of the stress and strains of everyday life. Second one being forgiveness, forgiving everybody who's ever wronged you in any way. Very, very powerful. And the third one is detachment. Okay, detaching from outcomes. We've all got plans in life, and when things are not quite going to plan, we need to detach from the outcome so it doesn't pull us down. Okay, all the negative energy from all this emotional crap and crud and demons in our subconscious pulls our energy down, okay, and it starts to slow us down, slows our vibration, and we feel pretty miserable. Okay, so it's important we're constant releasing that. Okay, so that was emotional freedom. Tonight, habit number 14 is emotional release tools. So 13 and 14 go hand in hand because this is such a big subject and so important in the foundations. Okay, now, stuff I prepared earlier, still from last night's chart. Now, we're talking about the conscious and subconscious. Conscious, we can get through sort of everyday life, no problem when things are going okay. Once we had a bit of stress and strain, that's when things begin to tell if we've got a lot of emotional baggage, okay? Because it's all stored in the subconscious. And if we don't clear it, it starts to weigh us down. Okay, so last night we talked about the ways to get rid of it and processes. Now I'm going to give you specific tools to speed this up. Okay, 3 tools. The very first one, aptly named, is EFT, which stands for Emotional Freedom Technique, or also known as tapping. You may be aware of this. Very, very simple, but very, very powerful. Okay, so EFT. Now, invented around about 20 years ago, it came to the mainstream. Now this is a very, very simple way to start desensitizing issues, problems, emotional issues, anything that troubles you. Now, it's a cross between Chinese acupressure and modern psychology. A guy called Gary Craig is seen as the inventor of it. Okay, we put all the links in the program, but very easy to find if you Google EFT, tapping, or Gary Craig. Okay, now what it does, it's a method, a very simple method, which I'll walk you through in a moment, to desensitize an issue. Because when we've got emotional baggage or a problem or an issue, as soon as we think about it or it's triggered, it changes our physiology. Okay, all problems are stored throughout the body. It's not in the mind. The mind triggers it, but it's in the body. Okay, and what it does, it pulls our energy down the more we think about it and starts to weigh down on us. Now, this tapping technique, emotional freedom technique, or EFT, what we do, we focus on the problem, and then we start to tap on the certain acupressure points. What it does, it has a calming effect on the amygdala in the brain, which starts to rewire the brain and dissipate the energy connected to it. So what happens when we suppress emotions through anger, trauma, it blocks the meridians, blocks the energy systems. What we're doing here is releasing it by focusing on it and then effectively desensitizing through release. Now, we've talked a lot about the parasympathetic nervous system, which deep breathing puts you into that state. This is a similar thing using the acupressure points that starts to desensitize it. Okay, so here's how we do it. We tap on 9 acupressure points. Okay, so take 2 fingers and we're going to tap 5 to 7 times on each of these. The first one is the crown of the head. It's just a simple tap like that, 5 to 7 times. Second one is the eyebrow, just above on the eyebrow, middle of the eye. Doesn't matter which side, by the way, because the mirrored points. Third one is side of the eye, just there. Fourth one is below the eye, 5 to 7 times. Fifth one is below the nose. Sixth one is chin. Seventh one is the collarbone. Eighth one is in the armpit, or there on the side of the rib cage. And the final one is what we call the karate chop. Okay, so I'll just walk you through that again. You focus on the issue, the thing that's troubling you, and then you just go through a round of 9, 5 to 7 times. Above on the eyebrow, side of the eye, below the eye, below the nose, chin, collarbone, armpit, and then the karate chop. Now I feel more relaxed doing that because that's what it does. It's a calming sensation. It starts to desensitize this from your energy system. Very simple, very, very powerful. Okay, that's number 1, EFT, emotional freedom technique or tapping. Number 2, Ho'oponopono. Strange word, it's a Hawaiian word. It's a Hawaiian healing technique. Now, this story takes some believing, but it's a very, very heartwarming, powerful story. Now, Ho'oponopono is a healing technique just using a very, very simple mantra. Now, within the program, we've put all the details down. We've put links to the guy who brought this into the mainstream, a guy called Dr. Hugh Len, psychiatrist in Hawaii. Still alive, he's probably in his 80s now. But long story short, his daughter was suffering from a debilitating disease similar to shingles, and somebody came and healed her who was using this Ho'oponopono, and seemingly didn't really do anything. It almost seems like a bit of magic. It was just a simple mantra, but it worked. He was so stunned because medical treatment just hadn't worked that he studied it, okay, and then he put it into use. Now, in the mid-80s, he was appointed the psychiatrist for the Hawaii State Hospital and looking after the sort of the mental asylum where the worst of the worst offenders were in there, and the sort of people you don't turn your back on. Anyway, the famous story, within 3 months, it pretty much cured everybody, and he didn't even see one of them face to face. All he did was use Ho'oponopono for 3 months, and then basically everybody was in a position where they didn't need to be restrained, locked up, and was free to continue the rehabilitation without fear of harming anybody. Now, what he did with Ho'oponopono, now it sounds too simple, this, but you just need to bear with me of how this works. If you've watched previous videos, you'll understand we talk about creating reality. Now, we're all the center of our own universe, and we're all creating our own reality. If we're not consciously doing it, we're subconsciously doing it, because this is very, very powerful. The programs in there create the world around us. Now, he understood that if something shows up in your reality, that you are energetically connected to it. So he knows through his study of this Ho'oponopono that all these inmates, patients of this mental asylum showed up in his reality. So he has a responsibility for creating that into existence. So rather than changing the outside world, and we've talked about this many times, that it's about doing the inner work. It's all connected with everything we talk about. Rather than trying to create that and change them, all he did and this is the principle of Ho'oponopono, is change the part of you that created that into a reality. Now, sounds too simple. Now, it wasn't until the last year, I've known about Ho'oponopono for a good 6 or 7 years. It's only in the last year I've really understood how creating reality works, where I can connect all the dots and say, okay, right, now I fully understand it. But I won't go into detail. I just want to give you, explain how it's done. And it is very, very simple indeed. Okay, now, all you do, you say a mantra of 4 phrases. So like the EFT, the tapping, you focus on the situation that's causing you trouble that you want to change, and you say these 4 phrases. I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, thank you. Just continually repeat them. I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, thank you. Okay, now based on creating reality, on some level, and it's nearly always going to be subconscious, because you won't have consciously said, okay, I want this problem. Somewhere in here you've created this because they've shown up in your reality, and you're taking responsibility for everything you create. You're energetically connected to it. So you focus on the problem, you're talking to the divine where everything is created from, okay, and you're saying this mantra: I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, thank you. Now, if we talk about energy, I'll just bring a chart back up. My magnet's gone again. Now, if we think about those 4 phrases, when they're said with, they're said on a genuine level, they're very high vibration. So you're focusing on the problem. Now, usually when we focus on problems, it pulls our energy right down. But what we're doing here, we're focusing on the problem, talking to the divine, but we're focusing on the problem. We know it's in our subconscious, it's causing us the issue, and we're saying 4 high vibrational phrases to the universe or to divinity. I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, thank you. So you're focusing on high energy and you're saying, yes, I recognize I've brought this into my existence, please forgive me, I love you, I'm sorry. So you're talking to the universe, divinity, focusing on the issue which you know is in your subconscious. It is as simple as that. Okay, so just bear with me if this sounds a little bit hokey. Now, of course, people watch this miracle take place, of what they say was a miracle, of all these patients being seemingly cured, and they asked Dr. Hugh then, how did you cure them? How did you heal them? He said, I didn't heal them. I healed the part of myself that created them. Now, this is profound. Something we keep talking about through these videos is that rather than changing the outside world, all you need to do is focus on yourself, because you're creating the world around you. Because he always jokes, we've put links in the program because you can see him on video explaining all this. Always jokes, he says, have you ever noticed when there's a problem, you're always there? So if it's in your reality, you have created it on some level. And when you take responsibility for it and understand these principles, you can use it to change. And effectively, it's pretty much perfect for our program, because it's almost saying, right, take responsibility, change your energy by raising your energy, saying these mantras, okay, and you can then create a reality that you want. Now, I don't want to get too technical, but that's what's happening. Now, we've put links so you can see interviews with Dr. Hugh Len where he talks more about it. We've got some book recommendations where you can learn more about it. Or Google it. It's a strange word. Ho'oponopono. Google it and you'll see a lot of information out there. It is very, very powerful. I use it all the time. Anything that crops up in my day, because you can do this anyway. Same as the EFT. As long as, I suppose, you haven't got people looking at you, you can tap very easily. And you can just do these mantras. I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, thank you. So with both, you focus on the problem, you go through this, okay, whenever you can. And you'll find each time it desensitizes, and it gets easier and easier. And what we're doing is starting to release all this crap and crud that weighs us down. Okay, so that's the second one. And the third one, very, very simple, eco meditation. Now what this is, it's a combination of EFT and a guided meditation. guy called Dawson Church that's come up with this. We've put the links in the program. I can't really put them on screen, obviously, at the moment. But if you Google it, if you haven't got the program, you can Google it. So what it is, it's a guided meditation, 20 minutes, very, very soothing, very, very relaxing, and tapping at the same time. So it's taking our Habit 9 meditation, which is very powerful, and doing the tapping as well. Okay, so there you've got 3 very good tools to help you get rid of all this crap and cruds. Because it's very, very important. All these will make you feel good as you do them. You'll feel calm and you'll raise your energy, which is what we're always trying to do. Okay, right. So coming up to the action steps. One thing I didn't talk about was the buckets. So same as last night, because it goes in tune with 13. This is all about our mental and emotional health. Our primary buckets makes a significant difference as we start to release stuff, because we release emotional baggage because we feel much lighter. Okay, right, so let's go on to the action steps. So in the program, there's 5 action steps. What we recommend is you try all 3 tools to familiarize yourself. Well, I'd say Google them if you've never heard of them, especially Ho'oponopono, because it's a heartwarming story. And the more you understand how reality is created, the more miraculous it seems. Okay, so try all 3 tools, see what works best for you. You can do the meditation, the third one, you've got to have it on your phone or something. The other 2, you can do them anytime, anywhere, and you can do them all day long. They don't take hardly any effort at all. Obviously, with a guided meditation, you've got to have access to it through a device. Okay, so try all 3 tools. You might prefer one over the other. Experiment with different techniques to find out what works best for you. 3, as you notice any emotional tension or negative energy rising up as you go about your day, acknowledge it and release it. Ho'oponopono is the easiest one because you can say it just like that. Take some time at the end of each day to reflect on your day and release any negative energy from the day. Make it a daily ritual. Use these tools every day to release. Okay, so with 13 and 14, it's not a case of going for all this release and it's all gone. We're wonderful. It's a continual process. Okay, so we need to offload the big stuff that's been weighing us down, traumas. Okay, take professional help if necessary. But on the day-to-day basis, where the world around us is putting stress in, I had this today. I use Ho'oponopono all the time because you're constantly cleaning and clearing. Okay, it's your subconscious that you're working on. So this stuff doesn't weigh you down. Right, okay, some book recommendations. We've put these in the program. First one is At Zero, The Quest for Miracles Through Ho'oponopono. Joe Vitale, who spent a lot of time with Dr. Hugh Len learning all this and bringing it to the mainstream. Very, very powerful book, very inspiring. And the second one, Mind to Matter, The Astonishing Science of How Your Brain Creates Material Reality. Dawson Church. This is the guy who's created the Eco meditation, number 3. Okay, 2 very good books. Worth having a look at if you've got the time and inclination. Okay, that is all for today on Habit 14. I'll be back with you tomorrow evening, 7 o'clock, for Habit 15, where we're going to get into finding your purpose, or making sure you're living your purpose if you're not already. Okay, so it's going to get a little bit lighter tomorrow from all the heavy stuff, and we're going to build on that. So thank you very much for watching. If you can join us tomorrow evening, we'd love to see you. Thank you very much for watching.